St. Augustine mayor meets the Queen of Spain at a D.C. symposium. St. Augustine's mayor is back from Washington, D.C. after attending a major international symposium on Spain's role in the American Revolution. Mayor Nancy Sikes-Kline, city manager David Burcham, and communications director Melissa Whistle joined more than 1,000 attendees this past weekend at Constitution Hall. The two-day event was hosted by the Daughters of the American Revolution and Queen Sofia Spanish Institute. Historians and scholars from around the world presented research highlighting how Spain supported America's fight for independence, a timely focus as the nation prepares to mark the 250th anniversary of the revolution next year. Mayor Nancy Sikes-Kline said the symposium was very educational and emphasized how it showcased the often overlooked contributions of Hispanic ancestors to America's founding. Organizers stressed that today's Hispanic community should know their heritage played a vital part in securing independence. The St. Augustine delegation also met with Queen Sofia of Spain, whom the mayor described as lovely, and sat down with the Spanish ambassador. The ambassador accepted an invitation to visit St. Augustine next May during the city's historical festival and Historic Preservation Month. Mayor Nancy Sikes-Kline says the city looks forward to welcoming that visit as St. Augustine continues to celebrate and honor its deep Spanish heritage. So I've got one point of contention.
What's that?
It feels like two things are getting conflated here. She met with the Queen of Spain and spoke with the Spanish ambassador to learn about Spain's contribution to the American Revolution. And then she referred to Hispanic contributions and Hispanic ancestors that helped with the American founding. And those are two different things. So it feels like we're conflating two different things, maybe for another purpose, maybe out of ignorance. I'm not sure. But Spanish comes from Spain directly.
Well, and it could be because a lot of the Spanish at the time, which was they were controlling Cuba and controlling Puerto Rico and controlling all of those at the time of the revolution, because Spain had lost Florida to England.
Yep.
And Spain got Florida back. And then we got Florida from Spain. So the United States did.
Yep.
So I think because there's conflict between Cuba and some of the other colonies with Spain, that was more of a cautious way of using that term. So, but at the time, it was Spanish.
It is Spanish.
Yeah.
Because Hispanic means from a Spanish-speaking area, so from a colony more often. Spain means from Spain.
Yeah, we got a lot of our support from Cuba, more so than directly from Spain.
Okay.
So that
Cuba as a Spanish colony.
As a Spanish colony, yes.
Yeah.
So, historically, it came from Cuba.
Was it ordered by the Cuban leaders, or was it ordered by the king, and it just came from Cuba?
It was
because
so
it was
slow
close?
at that time.
Yeah.
It probably came from the governor of whatever the colony was.
Okay.
So, because it took 60 days to get a message from Spain to here.
For sure.
So, I would probably say it came more from the governor at that time. They had a lot of freedom to do things like that.
I know.
So I kind of get that, but when you're talking to the Queen of Spain, stick with Spain.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, stick with that. So
probably should talk about Spain's help.
Yeah. Well, and Spain did get Florida back.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like they weren't rewarded for their help.
Yes.
Also, so and then we took it back from them.
Yeah. Well, as we do.
Yes. It's what we do. You owe us money, we'll take Florida.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Spain then again owed us money, and that's how we got Florida.
Yeah.
So
because they were already struggling with enough swampland in Washington, D.C. area as an early country. They didn't need more swampland in Florida. So here you go, Spain. Thanks for the help.
Yeah.
And then Spain couldn't pay their bills. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and a lot of people don't realize this. They think, if you do a deep dive in history, people talk about us purchasing Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Well, get this. The U.S. owed Russia $7 million during the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They borrowed some money, but they didn't want to tell the public that they had borrowed money.
Okay.
So the only way to pay back Russia was to buy this wasteland
mm-hmm.
for $7 million.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we ended up with Alaska. It wasn't an actual purchase. It was a payback of debt, but the U.S. government wouldn't admit that we owed Russia that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's how we ended up with Russia. If you do a deep dive
Or with Alaska.
Or with Alaska,
yeah. Because what Alaska. I learned was we acquired Alaska for oil fields.
No.
Like, it was an intentional thing.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Absolutely not, because that didn't come along until many years afterwards.
All right.
We were still using whale oil
mm-hmm.
at that point. So,
which is what's interesting about petrol products is that it saved whales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whales would have been
extinct
because that was a primary source of illuminating oil, all kinds of combustible oils. It was whale oil. That was it. And so the tycoons that discovered that we could use petroleum products, that we could mine and purify this ooze from the ground, that's what really saved the whales and stopped whaling, is that it was replaced. It's not that we suddenly figured out that we shouldn't kill these whales. It's that we found a better product.
No, we found a better, a more efficient product, and the whales were getting, and that's part of the other reason why Russia gave up Alaska for that debt, is because they had saturated the seal and whale
oil market
hunting.
Okay,
it became too hard. And that market was saturated. So I mean, it was in trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you don't read about that in history unless you really dig deep into the weeds of what was going on.
Absolutely. Those facts are kind of pulled apart because they don't want to make connections.
That's when I go on my bollocks deep dives, I find stuff like that. So.